Hello, and welcome back to another Veg Inspired live show. I am super excited that you're here. If you're watching and you can hear me, give me a hashtag team live in the comments so that I know that you can hear me and that I am not just talking to myself. Yes. Thank you, team live. I love it. Welcome to our Tuesday live show. I'm really excited about this topic. I'm really excited to kind of connect with you and share my story. As a quick background, I'm a real person. This is a live show, and I am travel full time in a fifth wheel RV with my husband and our cat, Eddie. Don't be surprised if he comes up onto the desk and he starts walking around and you see a tail walk in front, because that happens. It's real life living over here. While I'm talking, feel free to drop your questions or comments in the chat. If there's time, I'll circle back at the end. If I say something that resonates with you, give me some hearts, give me some love, give me some fire, give me some thumbs up. Whatever you can do to show me that you get it, that you feel it, that you know what I'm talking about. So welcome to our Veg Inspired live show. I am your host, Kathy Davis. I am a former school teacher turned plant-based lifestyle and mindset coach. I am the founder of Veg Inspired and the Eat More Plants Academy. And I'm a 3-time cookbook author. I help busy individuals transform their plant-based diet from stuck and struggling to intuitive and easy. We help you make your plant-based eating your new normal. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How I've made it my new normal. And you might be surprised at my story. You might be like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling a lot of that. So if you do, please comment below. Let me know. Love this. Give me some team live. If you want your face to show up like mine does here, you do need to click the StreamYard link. When you do that, it shows up like that or like this so that I can see you. So I wasn't always plant-based, and I'm telling you this story and sharing this story because I think sometimes people look at where we are in our journey, plant-based influencers, coaches, people who've been on this path, and we're like, gosh, I wish I could be like them. And I wanted to back it up a little bit, and I wanted to really go back to the beginning. I did not grow up plant-based. I grew up eating meat and potatoes, right? I did not eat a variety of plants. I did not eat a variety of plant foods. I ate very common vegetables. And I think that's relatable because many of us get pushed into this way of eating for health reasons because we see it somewhere. Maybe we're vegan and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm not healthy. And I'm going to get to that part of my story. 8.5 years ago, when the idea of going plant-based was introduced to me by my husband, I was resistant. I was fearful. I didn't want to give up the foods that I grew up on. My meals were full on standard American: meat, starches, potatoes, pasta, all that veggie, all the starchy foods loaded with dairy. And then, like I said, just some common vegetables: carrots, lettuce, cucumbers, maybe tomatoes, but I wasn't always into tomatoes, and I certainly wasn't into raw onions, and never had asparagus. Vegetables weren't something that I ate a variety of. I didn't like beans. I hadn't tried most vegetables, and I loved eating out at local restaurants. Kim said she had to renew the StreamYard link. So make sure that if you do want your name to show up, you go ahead and click that link, and you can give access to it. But I loved eating out at local restaurants. And if you'd asked me 10 years ago, before this idea was even brought up to me, if I would have ever gone vegan, I would have chuckled, right? I would have said even vegetarian would have been a stretch. I loved juicy cheeseburgers loaded with mayo and bacon. I enjoyed buffalo wings and blue cheese at least weekly. I was living the standard American life. Occasionally, photos will show up in my memories on Facebook of the foods I used to eat, plates we used to eat at restaurants where we lived in North Carolina. Burgers, pizza, tacos loaded with meats and cheeses and sour creams, and pasta with meatballs, and pizza and lots of Parmesan cheese. And I used to love cheese dips and cheese spreads and cheese. So the transition to plant-based eating happened very slowly for me. It started with some meals made from familiar plant foods: cashew sauces, potato tacos, Smoothies. I love smoothies. If you're looking for an easy way to get into this, start with smoothies. Over the months of eating the plant foods, I started to feel differently. Started to feel lighter. I started to have a little more energy. I started to just feel different. And I allowed myself to look into the research of healthy plant-based eating. I also allowed myself to watch some of the animal agriculture videos. And I don't watch them anymore. I consider myself an ethical vegan. I choose not to participate in using animals for anything, entertainment, foods, clothing, whatever it is. I'm an ethical vegan on that standpoint. And many of you may have heard my big pivot point, right? I had attended my own bridal shower where I enjoyed deviled eggs, the cheese tray, and even a cupcake. And after the guests had left, a few of us went out to see the calf on the farm, which raised cows for slaughter. And in that moment, it hit me. I was sending a picture to my husband, and I still have the picture. And I was taking a picture of the little cow standing next to its mom, and it clicked. I had circled the little cow, and I wrote baby and drew a little arrow. And in that moment, I realized I didn't want to eat those babies anymore. That was June 9th, 2014, 8 years ago. Over the last 8 years, I've read the books, I've participated in the challenges, and I have eaten all over the vegan spectrum, from trying out raw vegan and whole food plant-based, checking all my daily dozen boxes, to this more starch-based way of eating, and all the way up to the vegan junk food end. And after we'd gone vegan 8 years ago, we made a decision shortly after to stop cooking with oil. All of the research really showed how negative oil was because it's super processed. So we used healthy fats, we used avocados, we used nuts and seeds, and we really started to leverage those foods. We still season our cast iron pans even today with oil, but no more sauteing in oil, no more roasting in oil. And it seemed like an easy switch once we got the hang of it. The flavors of the food started to really stand out. They seemed to be enhanced by no oil. Everything tasted cleaner and fresher. We loved it. Where we fell short, though, in our daily habits 8 years ago and along this journey were the processed vegan foods. My gosh, over the last 8 years, the vegan food market has exploded. What a time to be alive, where you can order a vegan Whopper at Burger King. And while eating mostly clean and plant-based, we still found ourselves enjoying snacks and processed vegan imitation products pretty frequently. And after moving into the RV 3.5 years ago and deciding to continue to create veg-inspired adventure videos showcasing amazing vegan restaurants on our travels, our habits really, really started to suffer. Maybe the habits didn't suffer, our health suffered because of our habits. 3 years ago, my what I eat in a days were a lot different than they are now. Lots of processed foods, lots of convenient foods, lots of going out to eat. We started buying a lot more of the easy vegan foods to cook in the RV, the vegan nuggets, the vegan fish sticks, lots of the snacks and chips, lots of the store prepared foods with lots of oil. And I remember one day specifically, I ate a breakfast sandwich on an English muffin with a vegan sausage, vegan cheese, vegan mayo, and tofu for breakfast. Then I had that same vegan cheese on a sandwich for lunch with oily chips, and then we went out to dinner. Sadly, though, many of our days were like that, and we fell into this routine of relying on super processed vegan foods. And what's ironic is we went plant-based for health, to combat the standard American diseases, right? When you eat the standard American diet, you get the standard American diseases. That's how it works. And so we had gone vegan or plant-based for health. Yet here we were down this path of vegan junk food. And I was starting to feel it. My joints were achy from all the highly inflammatory oils and processed foods. I was constantly bloated and irritable. I was tired and uninspired much of the time. And I was starting to put on some weight. But I had dieted my whole life. And vegan was supposed to be healthy. And I shouldn't need a diet from it, right? I wasn't naive to how I was feeling, but honestly, I was pretty misinformed. The processed vegan foods might have been healthier than the animal products, but they were creating daily habits that were not keeping me at my healthiest state. We were celebrating our 1 year living in our RV. This was about 2.5 years ago. And we returned to a campground in Daytona. And about 15 minutes from that campground was a little hole in the wall vegan restaurant that we fell in love with. And in that 4 weeks that we were there, we ate there at least 6 times. 6 times. One day we ate there twice. We picked up lunch and then we went back for dinner. We'd basically lost control. Like, I truly believe in that moment that we had lost control of what was truly healthy and what we were doing. They served incredible sandwiches, veggie burgers loaded with cheese on pretzel buns, topped with creamy sauces, served with French fries, served with breaded vegan chicken tossed in buffalo sauce and ranch. It was amazing. But let's face it, even me saying these things to you, we're both sitting here saying that's probably not healthy. And I knew that way of eating wasn't healthy. And we would throw in a super healthy oil-free Buddha bowl with lots of veggies and a clean sauce a few times a week and offset the crap we were eating. But our habits were set. We had become junk food vegans. And I'm telling you this story not to worry you, not to say that that's bad, not even to shame you. I want you to understand that there are steps and pathways along this way. We don't all start out at this whole food, plant-based place. That is a journey. We were eating all the processed vegan snacks, all the processed vegan foods, eating out at all the vegan restaurants frequently. And I can't say I didn't love it. I loved it. I loved being social. I loved meeting the restaurant owners. I loved showcasing the amazing vegan restaurants and supporting the vegan brands. In fact, we became ambassadors for a few vegan product companies because we used them so frequently. But if I'm being honest, I knew I wasn't feeling good. The final straw, the breaking point, the pivot point that many of you have heard was that one day I was weighing our cat Scooter for some medication. And I would step on the scale and weigh myself. And then I would step on the scale with him. And while I did it the opposite. I'd step on the scale with him. And then I would step on the scale and weigh myself. And then I was doing the math to calculate it all out. I realized I was at my highest weight ever. And so many emotions flooded over me. Fear, embarrassment, shame, frustration. And the words diet were flashing in my head. And I remember coming down into the kitchen right here, standing down the steps, looking at John. And I was like, I'm in my highest weight ever. We've got to do something. I guess I need a diet. Ugh. I still feel emotions. It's like trauma. The feelings associated with the word diet truly, truly bring such trauma to me. I had tried everything my whole life. I had weighed food. I had counted points. I had given up entire food groups. No bread. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. This wasn't supposed to be the outcome of a vegan diet. It was supposed to be healthy. And after a quick pity party and a realization that I also had all the signs of prediabetes, I pulled myself together. I pulled out my Starch Solution book by Dr. John McDougall, which was the first book I read on plant-based eating. And I sat down and I read it. And I decided that day we would follow the Starch Solution specifically for weight loss. I grabbed the cookbooks we had with us in the RV. I did my meal plan, made our grocery list. We hit the grocery store and now we're armed with all the healthiest foods to help me lose weight. And in the car on the way home from the grocery store, I said to John and I were talking and I was like, gosh, we're going to Key West. I said, I hate to be on a diet when we're in Key West. I'm going to miss having the vegan key lime pie. And my husband, who's brilliant, says to me, Kathy, this isn't a diet. Stop thinking about it that way. Make it a lifestyle change. We need to create healthy habits that align with our goals every day. One piece of vegan key lime pie isn't going to hurt. It's what you do daily that matters. That last piece is so important. It is what you do daily that matters. That one conversation has changed my entire life, and it was the catalyst for every single thing I have in my life right now. In 6 months since that day, I had hit my first milestone of 35 pounds gone. At the time of this recording, 2.5 years later, I am at almost 50 pounds released. But what I want you to take away from this training isn't necessarily the weight loss. It's the journey. It's the fact that living a plant-based lifestyle doesn't necessarily fit you into a box. You can start anywhere. I also want you to know the other benefits that this life-changing decision has had for me. Increased energy, increased joy, reduced pain, reversed the markers of prediabetes. I feel generally lighter. I'm energized. I have better digestion, better mental clarity and stamina. I'm more productive. I'm more mobile. I have more strength and flexibility. I can hike at the national parks that we visit in our RV life. I've also authored 3 cookbooks, reignited my passion for helping others transform their lives with a plant-based diet, and launched the Eat More Plants Academy. Now my days are filled with gratitude toward energizing and nourishing foods I eat, loads of fresh fruits, vegetables, bowls of grains and tasty sauces, and lots of fun and flavorful recipes that I love to cook. But what I want you to really get is that it is a journey. Kim even said it. It indeed is a journey. This is a journey. It requires effort. My what I eat in a day looks much simpler, much more colorful than it ever did 8 years ago when I was eating animal products. It leaves me feeling joyful and energized. Following a whole food, starch, and plant-based way of eating truly is the healthiest way to eat. My day consists of green tea and 1 cup of black coffee, loads of water throughout the day, hydrating. I've actually started to infuse water with some herbs. Some lavender and mint was really delicious with a squeeze of lime, squeeze of lemon. I start my day with oats, berries, and plant milk for breakfast, with a dash of flax and a little maple syrup or date sugar to sweeten it up. My lunches are big salads and a starch. Some days it's beans and potatoes for my starch. Other days it's chickpeas and rice. And I rotate in pastas, sweet potatoes, and other whole grains to add variety and spice things up. My snacks are veggies and fruits and crackers and homemade hummus and potatoes. I truly love the way that I eat. Dinners might be as simple as the starch and salad like lunch, or I might go all out and do a fancy whole food plant-based meal like tamales with all the toppings. With the energy to cook and a solid plan each week, I make plant-based eating fit into my schedule. And I am on a mission to help others with this transformation. Going from fatigued, bored, and frustrated to thriving and joyful has truly changed my life. In a couple of weeks, we're launching an incredible 12-week challenge-based program, and we are taking applicants. This is for you if you are looking to jumpstart or revive your plant-based diet. If you're watching this and you're like, oh, I need that push, I need that extra layer of accountability, or I just need that guidance and direction to get me on my path, to jumpstart my plant-based eating, to revive my plant-based eating and make it work for you, this is your solution. You'll be guided through the strategies, the systems, food challenges, and more to help you create a foundation of eating plant-based, making it your way of life. Does that sound like a fit for you? Does that sound like something you are ready for? If that sounds like something for you, comment #jumpstart below and let's connect to see if you are a fit for this new program. This way of eating is life-changing. I have worked with clients who have reversed their medical issues, reduced medications, lost weight. It's not just me. I am changing lives, and I know that the power of plants can help you change your life. So if you think the Jumpstart is something that would help you jumpstart your life, if you want that challenge, that energy, that guidance, the direction to make this work for you, give me a #Jumpstart in the comments below, and we will get the information to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for tuning into our Veg Inspired Live. I hope that my story resonates a little bit with you and you realize that this is a journey, and that in order to make it happen, that guidance, that direction, that level of fun and food is right here at your fingertips. And we're in the Academy. We are ready for you and we are excited to welcome you. So if you are interested in the Jumpstart, give me a hashtag Jumpstart and I will see all of you next week. Bye.